So I just want to share some information that I've had on Friday from a course I went on. It was an ACAS course, and it was all to do with mental health and well-being. It was a full day's course. We got inundated with figures, statistics, information, but there's just a few things that I feel I want to share with people, because the stories that we heard, or some of the speakers that were there, basically their family or friend member could have been helped, but they didn't have access to the information. They didn't know who to turn to. So I sort of feel that it's really important in this day and age, particularly with suicide on the up. 6,000 people committed suicide last year in the UK. That's a lot of people. Majority of them didn't speak to anybody beforehand. So I'm going to share with you some statistics, and then in the comments I'm going to actually put some information of helplines, telephone numbers, apps. So if you know, whether it's yourself or there's somebody in your family or in your friend group who might be struggling with any form of mental health, please share the info, because as dramatic as it sounds, you really could be saving somebody's life. So one of the things, obviously, it looked at absence in the workplace, which was one of the reasons I went there. Every year, where's my figure? 15.2 million people have sick days from stress, anxiety and depression. 15.2 million. That is crazy. That is a lot. So why do people have mental health? There are so many, obviously so many reasons, but from 2016, it was reported that there was only 41% of people with mental health issues. In 2019, it's jumped up to 58%, and that figure is on the increase year in, year out. So it just goes to show you that it's a dramatic increase in people's stresses, situations, life, and it's scary. So when we're looking, I'm not going to talk about the work side of the absenteeism, because people probably don't want to be hearing about that, but I want to move more on to suicide and suicide awareness. This is something which in my past I have had to deal with in my job role, and it was one of the hardest times. I can't even tell you, it was awful, and it wasn't somebody that was even close to me. So if I found it hard to deal with somebody who wasn't directly in my life, the family and friends of the people affected are, my heart goes out to them. It's really tough. So one of the bits of information we got given is that now, with men in particular, it's on the increase, because guys, unlike probably women, don't talk. They keep a lot of things hidden. The statistics for guys now committing suicide is scary. There are helplines, there are apps. There is actually something called James's Place, which is in London, and that's for a support for men over the age of 18. And it's a place you can actually physically visit, which is amazing. So, like I said, I will post some information in the comments so that people can pass it on. But one of the helplines, which I thought was amazing, is an app, and it's called Hub of Hope. It's a free app. You can actually make contact via it 24/7. So anybody at all, whatever age, if you need to talk to somebody because you're feeling low or you are suicidal, you have got access to somebody who doesn't know you, won't judge you, and will hold your hand, so to speak. So nobody should ever feel alone. And it's one of those things where if you don't know, you're never going to use these amazing charities that have now been set up to assist with suicide or suicidal thoughts. So one of the things you can also do is text HOPE to 85258. And that's if you need urgent help. So, pass that on, because like I said, as dramatic as it sounds, you really could be saving somebody's life. one of the things that I was told was 3/4 of people who died of suicide last year had not been in touch with any services to ask for help, whether that was counselling or doctor. That's really sad. That's 3/4 of people. That's high. That's a lot. And I don't know whether the reason is you're in that place and obviously you don't reach out. But one of the speakers on Friday was a guy who at the age of 23 attempted to commit suicide. Now, luckily, he got found in time and he's gone on now to have a wife and 2 gorgeous children. But he basically told us that right up until the point where he attempted to commit suicide, he didn't know who to speak to. He'd actually made noises to his doctor that he was feeling low several months previous, but got no support or help. He didn't know what to do. So what he basically said is, had he maybe had some information on helplines, etc., he may not have used it. But I guess for those who have been down that journey and they didn't know, we'll never know whether a helpline or just speaking to somebody could have prevented it. One of the things as well that we were told is there is nothing wrong in actually saying to somebody, are you feeling suicidal? There is nothing wrong in saying that. If you just ask somebody if they're okay, 9 times out of 10, what's the answer going to be? Yeah, well, I'm okay, I'm fine. That might not necessarily be the truth. But if you're quite specific, if you have your suspicions, ask the question. I think it's one of those things is we all need to have that basic knowledge to help ourselves and other people. And again, you are never alone. There is always somebody who will listen to you if you allow them to. So if you are or know of anybody that is having these low bouts of depression and you just need to speak to somebody, please do it. We're coming up to one of the worst times of year where obviously the suicide goes sky high. This information seriously could save somebody's life this year. So I would really appreciate people sharing the helpline numbers, the app, everything, because you just never know. And when it comes to the fact we all have that responsibility, I think it's very easy to get caught up in your own issues, your own journey, your own problems, and you don't always see what other people might be going through, and they might actually be shouting out for some help and you don't see it. So if nothing else, share the information, because somebody might not even tell you that they've sent a message via text message asking for help to one of these charity helplines. You know, they don't need to, but as long as you've passed that information on and we all do our bit and share the information, then you know, that's better than nothing and turning a blind eye, because you never know. One day it might happen to somebody you know, and then you're faced with that situation and having to deal with it, and it's not an easy thing to have to deal with. So on that note, I am going to leave it at that. If anybody wants me to message them direct any information, or if anybody does actually just want to chat, then contact me, because I'm quite a good listener. I might come across as a bit of a dick, but I'm actually quite a good listener. So I will share the information in the comments, and I hope it's been of use to some people anyway that might have not even known that these charities exist or these helplines exist, because if you don't know, you can't use them. So hence why I'm sharing the info today. So have a good day, everybody.